Hello everyone and welcome to another daily current affairs video by SSB Crack Exams. I am Chetana Purav and I'll be taking this session and I'm your GK and current affairs tutor. Right, so let's move ahead and let me tell you in brief about SSB Crack Exams. So we are a platform that provides various courses for all the major defense related examination. For example, AFCAT, CDS, NDA and all. For more details, of course, you can visit our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com. You can follow our Instagram account as well, SSB Crack Exams, and download our app SSB Crack Exams from Google Play Store. Now guys, for more videos related to current affairs and informative videos related to defense examination, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel SSB Crack Exams. Moving on, before we start, let me discuss the question that I asked you yesterday in yesterday's session for current affairs. So I asked you guys to answer the question about the functions of dry fed, right? So I'll discuss some of the main functions of dry fed. So some of the main functions of dry fed are to provide fair price the minor forest produce collected by the tribes and enhance their level of income, to ensure sustainable harvesting of minor forest produce, to save the tribes from exploitation of the business mediators. If the price of the products fluctuates, then TriFed arranges compensation for the tribes from the Ministry of Agriculture. So these are some of the primary functions of TriFed. There are still many functions, but these are the primary functions. That's why I told you over here. Now moving ahead, let's start to discuss the news from today. Now, Agriculture Minister reviews the works of DARE ICAR. Right. So the news says that the Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, who is Shri Narendra Singh Tomar, remember the names of the minister. You must be knowing the names of each and every cabinet minister at present, took a review meeting of Department of Agricultural Research and Education. So DARE stands for Department of Agricultural Research and Education, and Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR. Right. And now what happened in this meeting? So basically he did nothing but he emphasized on enhancing the reach of technologies in the agricultural sector amongst the farmers and reach out to maximum number of farmers through the network of ICAR and Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Right. So he focused more on the reach of technologies to various farmers by the means of ICAR and Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Okay, now moving on to our next news. Functional agricultural market doubles since lockdown. So what is the news? The Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare of Government of India is taking several measures to facilitate the farmers and farming activities at field level during this lockdown period. Now, the updated status of activities are there is an increase in number of functional markets since lockdown, right? So earlier, just when the lockdown started in the country, there were somewhere around 120 plus major sabji mandis at the markets which were functional, but currently there are around 230 plus. Okay, so this has almost doubled. The arrival of vegetables such as onion, potato and tomato in mandis has increased by 622%, 187% and 210% respectively, which shows that the government is still capable of supplying every vegetable, especially the important vegetables like onion, potato and tomato, to the mandis, right? During Rabi season 2020, the procurement of pulses and oilseeds on MSP is currently in progress in 20 states, about which I have already discussed in the previous session in yesterday's current affair. States have commenced activities under the National Bamboo Mission to take advantage of the ensuing monsoon. Harvesting of pulses and potato almost complete. Sugarcane is almost complete, and sugarcane, wheat and rabi onion on track or near completion. So almost all the harvesting for each and every important vegetable product is almost complete. Right. Now let's move ahead. So on yesterday, 23 April, was World Book and Copyright Day. And on this occasion, Ministry of HRD participated in a webinar which was organized by National Book Trust of India and FICCI. right? What was done in this webinar? So the webinar provided insights on the post-COVID scenario for publishing industry and probable shift in publishing, teaching, learning methods, while understanding the ways in which the education will be relooked into the rising e-learning practices. We all know during this during this lockdown period, there have been more growth in the e-learning sector, e-education sector, right? So that is why the main focus of the discussion was on that topic only, that they relooked on the ways how to tackle this problem of rising e-learning. Now, the next news is from speeding up of delivery of free cylinders to PMUY beneficiaries. And if you're not don't know about PMUY, so PMUY is nothing but Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Okay. Petroleum and Natural Gas and Steel Minister Shri Dharmendra Pradhan has called upon all the stakeholders in LPG cylinder supply chain to work diligently and in a systematic manner to speedily increase the delivery of free refills to PMUY beneficiaries. And under Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Package, which comes under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Package, over 8 crore PMUI beneficiaries are eligible to get 3 free cylinders over the next 3 months. Okay. Now, moving on to our next news. So there was a new campaign which was hashtag My Book My Friend campaign on World Book Day, which was led by HRD Minister Sri Ramesh Pokhriyal, and he extended his greetings to everyone on the occasion of World Book Day and launched the hashtag My Book My Friend campaign on social media. He appealed to all the students that at the time of this lockdown, they must read some books of interest in addition to course books. There will be opportunity to learn something new. He urged all the students to read a book and share with him about the book which they are reading at the moment using hashtag MyBookMyFriend on social media. Okay, so this was a very good initiative. Now moving ahead, so there was industries to ensure following up of all health precautions. So Union Minister of MSME and Road Transport and Highways, Sri Nitin Gadkari, interacted via video conferencing with the representatives of Bharat Chamber of Commerce, enterprises from various sectors, media and other stakeholders on post-COVID-19 challenges and new opportunities in India. Okay. And he basically, what he did, he emphasized on usage of personal protective equipments, which includes masks and sanitizers, gloves, etc., and advised to maintain social distancing while resuming the offices and business operations. Okay, so we all know there are some manufacturing units which will be opened, which have already opened, have begun to operate, and this was specially for those, the instructions were especially for those. Industries should also arrange shelter and food for the laborer at the work site and focus on preventive measures and business activities simultaneously. Okay, so this was the instructions given by the minister to the industries. Moving on to our next news. Our defense minister launched first mobile testing for COVID-19 through video conferencing. So Sri Rajnath Singh, who is our defense minister or Raksha Mantri, dedicated the first COVID-19 sample collection mobile lab of the country, which has been named as Mobile BSL-3 VRDL Lab, to the nation through video conferencing. Now, this one more thing, this has been developed by DRDO. One more information I had to give you. Now, moving ahead. So, antiviral nano coating to be upscaled for making triple layer medical masks. Now, as a part of Nano Mission program, the Department of Science and Technology has approved support for upscaling and antiviral nano coatings developed by Professor Ashwini Kumar Agrawal of IIT Delhi. Now, this will be used. This will be, of course, for use as appropriate material for producing anti-COVID-19 triple layer medical masks and N95 respirator in large quantities. Okay. Now, which material will be used for this particular purpose? So, silver will be used, and silver is known to have strong antimicrobial activity against bacteria, viruses, fungus, and so on. So, he developed this N9 blue nano silver at Smitha Research Lab in ID Delhi under the Nano Mission project, which was approved by Department of Science and Technology, India. Now, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, who is also Secretary of Department of Science and Technology, he said that the use of highly effective antimicrobial nanoparticles on PPEs or personal protective equipments, masks, gloves, etc., they will be useful in application that will provide an extra layer of protection for the high risk setting, right? So this is a very good, you can say, upgrade or good news for the government and good result in the field of science and technology to cope up with the outbreak of corona. The other news comes from the food sector. FCI sets new benchmark in loading food grain rakes. Okay, now Food Corporation of India set a new benchmark on 22/4/20 when it moved 102 train loads carrying about 2.8 lakh metric tons of food grains, right? So it loaded this much amount in just one day, which has never been done before. With this movement, the total food grain stocks moved by FCI up till now has crossed 5 million metric tons. This is a huge number. This shows the capability of, you can say, FCI as well as the freight or Department of Railways. That shows that this much amount of 1.65 lakh million metric ton of food grains can be transported on an average, right? So this is a very good sign for such huge country. During the same period, FCI unloaded 4.6 million metric ton stocks and distributed 9.8 million metric ton to the state governments under various schemes, including Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. Okay, now moving ahead. So KVIC comes to the rescue of cocoon farmers in Tamil Nadu. Now, what is this KVIC? KVIC is nothing but Khadi and Village Industries Commission, which is situated, whose local branch, one of the local branch is in Chennai, which is an autonomous body under Ministry of MSME in collaboration with its Khadi institutes in Tamil Nadu. Like I said, one of the local headquarters is in Chennai, has discharged its responsibility once again by purchasing cocoons from cocoon farmers. Now, why was it done? So the main objective of this was to help the cocoon farmers who were already struggling to sell their crop due to lockdown pandemic outbreak. And secondly, of course, to ensure that continuous supply of cocoons is there maintained to the Khadi institutions involved, which are involved in silk production. Okay, so this was done by KVIC. Moving ahead, Ministry of Tourism organizes webinar of Dekho Apna Desh series. So it's an initiative that has been taken by Ministry of Tourism to celebrate India's diverse touristic and cultural landscape. The Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, has taken the initiative of organizing of a series of webinars under the overall theme of Dekho Apna Desh. Right. Recently, the 7th webinar was conducted, and in 7th webinar, uh, the uh, the tourist destination that was showcased was Varanasi. Okay, now moving ahead, IIFPT supports by manufacturing and supplying nutrient-rich foods to COVID-19 patients. So what's the news? IIFT, which stands for Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, a pioneer research and educational institution under the Ministry of Food Processing, is supporting India's fight against COVID-19. And how? So, Union FPI Minister Srimati Harsimrat Kaur Badal appreciated the initiative taken by IFT to manufacture nutrient-rich foods. So, they are manufacturing the nutrient-rich foods for COVID-19 patients specifically at a time when the need for healthy and immunity boosting foods is indispensable, right? So there is obvious thing that every patient right now needs such food which are very good for immune system. So that is what the main focus was of IIFPT. Okay. Now, moving ahead, Power Ministry to allow construction activities in the power projects outside municipal limits. So, Union Power Ministry has advised the states and union territories administrations to allow construction activities in the power projects department only, and that too only outside the municipal corporation limits, that is in the rural areas. These activities may be permitted after observing necessary health protocols, right? So, first of all, necessary health protocols will be checked, and after that only it will be allowed. What are the allowed activities that have been proposed by Power Ministry or allowed by Power Ministry? So, construction of all kinds of industrial projects in rural areas, which is basically outside the limits of municipal corporations and municipalities, which have been allowed to carried out uh, with effect from 20th April 2020. This is also applicable for ongoing construction activities in thermal and hydropower generation projects outside the limits of urban local bodies. This is the most important part. Moving ahead, the last news for today is new clinical trials are now approved by the Drugs Controller General of India. So, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR) has decided to develop, repurpose an approved immunomodulator whose name is Sepsivic to enhance innate immunity of body to limit the spread of COVID-19 and fasten the recovery of patients of COVID-19. Through this, through its flagship New Millennium India Technology Leadership Initiative program, right? Now, what it will do? So, Spexivac is expected to protect the close contacts of COVID-19 patients and healthcare staff by boosting their innate response, basically immunity, in other words, and thereby preventing them from acquiring the disease. Okay, so first thing is to improve the immunity. Second, to provide quicker recovery to the hospitalized COVID-19 patients who are not critically ill. It will also prevent the progression of the disease, wherein patients will need ICU management. Okay. Now, both these new clinical trials are now approved by the Drug Controller General of India, which is very, very important. They will be randomized, double-blind, two-arm controlled clinical trials. These are the methods or ways of clinical trials. These two clinical trials are in addition to the recently announced trial on evaluating the efficiency of drug for reducing mortality in critically ill COVID-19 patients. Now, moving ahead, it's quiz time now in the session. So we'll start off with the first question. So the first question is, when is World Book and Copyrights Day celebrated? So we have already discussed this in today's session. These are your options, and I hope many of you have got it right already. Yes, so the correct answer is option A, which is 23rd of April. The next question says, who is Union Petroleum and Natural Gas and Steel Minister of India right now? Your options are Nitin Gadkari, Dharmendra Pradhan, Rajnath Singh, or none of the above. So I have discussed this also in this session. The correct answer is option B, Dharmendra Pradhan. The next question is, which recent webinar series has been launched by Ministry of Tourism? Basically, the name of that webinar series. The options are Ghumo India, Incredible India, Dekho Apna Desh, Hamara Bharat. Yes, so we have discussed this also in today's news. Correct answer is option C, Dekho Apna Desh. Now, the next news is question is name the immunomodulator which is recently approved by the Drugs Controller General of India. Your options are Sepsivic, Sepsinivic, hydroxychloroquine, and none of the above. So, of course, I have also discussed this was the last news for today's session. The correct answer is option A, Sepsivic. Right? Now, it's time for the question of the day. The question of the day is, you have to tell the objectives of ICAR. So please write your answers in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends as well. And don't forget to like it. Thank you. Have a nice day and Jai Hind.